So here we are, a wrap up of my playthrough on the Dishonored series. I almost didn't play Death of the Outsider because of how, quote unquote, not feeling it I was with the prior two games. But I knew this one was very short, so after going back and forth, I decided I'd muscle my way through. And I'm glad I did, because this game gives me very mixed feelings. I openly admit I personally feel like this is the least best of the three games, but in a weird way, I think it's my favorite. I clearly have some mixed feelings on this game, so let's talk about it. Dishonored: Death of the Outsider was developed by Arcane Lion, published by Bethesda Softworks, and was released on September 15th, 2017 for PS4, Xbox One, and Windows PCs. I played this game on PC through PC Game Pass, so all footage you are seeing is from that platform, recorded using OBS. I also played a bulk of this game on my Lenovo Legion Go, and it ran without issue. The saves, however, are another story. Unlike Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider uses Xbox's cloud saves and whatnot, and as someone who has a main desktop PC and uses a handheld PC, I always like to see this. But in my experience, they didn't really work. After playing for a bit on my Lenovo, I went to go play on my desktop, but noticed the cloud save hadn't transferred. Having issues with Xbox doing this in the past, I didn't really think much of it, but after several more attempts, I realized what had been happening. For whatever reason, it became clear to me that the game was only cloud saving when I started a new mission, but wouldn't cloud save any of the autosaves or manual saves that would take place in said mission. Why it was doing this, I have no idea. If you've experienced something similar or different, please let me know in the comments below, as this was very perplexing to me. But for that reason, I played most of this game on my Lenovo. Steam is so much better with the cloud saving system, and it makes me wonder how a small company like Valve can figure it out, but giant Xbox can't. It's just really weird to me. In Death of the Outsider, you play as Billy Lurk, Dowd's right-hand woman from the Knife of Dunwall DLC from the first game, and this game takes place after Dishonored 2. As Billy, you seek out a way to kill the Outsider, a godlike being in the world of Dishonored. Why does Billy want to kill him? Not super sure, honestly. Based on some reading online, I think it's because she thinks it will end a lot of suffering he caused. I don't know. But yeah, you use a combination of magic powers and physical weapons to make that happen. As you can tell, the story is not presented very well in this game. Death of the Outsider was originally planned to be a DLC to go alongside Dishonored 2, but at one point in development, it got turned to its own standalone release. I both like and dislike this. On the one hand, the Outsider is a very big deal in the world of Dishonored, so to relegate the killing of him to just a DLC I feel would not be good, as it is a big enough plot point to warrant a full game. But the issue is that they didn't really deliver a full game. As I have said before, I believe value from a game can come from more than just length, but this game is just outright too short for what it's trying to accomplish. The story is incredibly rushed. Granted, from what I can remember and research, it did not launch as a full-price game, but this loops back to the Outsider getting killed and deserving more. Essentially, Billy comes up with this plan to kill the Outsider, and then it more or less goes off without a hitch and with zero setbacks. She realizes she needs some tools to get the job done, she finds said tools, goes through with her plan, and there really is no plot developments beyond that. So the story is very shallow, and Billy's motivations are very shallow as well, as we previously discussed. But also, like I said earlier, this might be my favorite game in the series because I found it the most fun. I definitely do still suck at stealth and stealth games, but I feel part of the reason this game was my favorite was because it was probably the one where I was able to be the stealthiest. I played Death of the Outsider on the same difficulty as the other two, and I think I just may have sort of figured out how to be stealthier in these games. Not stealthy, stealthier. Make no mistake, I still got caught and discovered a lot, but I believe it to be notably less than the other two games. That increase in stealth was definitely not helped by the powers and upgrades I received. This game's market system works in the same way as the Dishonored 2 one, in the sense that there are black market vendors in each individual level that you are able to purchase upgrades and items from, whereas in Dishonored 1, you spent your hard-earned coin at a more static upgrade station / person who is always in the same spot in your in-between area, I guess is what we'll call it, is just where Corvo would go to rest before his next mission. This is definitely more of a personal preference, but I much prefer the Dishonored 1 system over 2 and Death of the Outsiders. There were times where I wanted to upgrade my stuff, but just outright couldn't find the black market vendor. But again, this is very possibly down to my own stupidity. I cannot stress that enough. However, I did really enjoy the contract aspect of the game when I could get to them, because since they were kept at the black market more often than not. Contracts act as little side missions for you to do along with the main objective. In my experience, they never really forced you too far off the main path, and you didn't have to go too far out of your way to get them done. The contracts came from the black market, which I obviously didn't always get to, so I didn't do every contract, but when I did get to them, I definitely tried to make them happen, and it was always a fun little side objective along with the main one. At this point, what can I say about Dishonored that hasn't already been said? After playing through the series, I personally do not think of it as highly as most, but like I've said before, I can very easily see why people love these games. After Death of the Outsider was released, Bethesda announced that the Dishonored series would be put on ice for a while. If they ever do come out with a new one, I will likely let it pass, as I have not played anything in the series that has really hooked me in. But if that fourth game ever comes out, I hope for the Dishonored fans out there, it turns out a bit better than Death of the Outsider. I will not lie to you, I am pretty relieved to be done playing the Dishonored games, but the games I love are made even sweeter by playing the ones I don't love. But anyway, thank you so much for your time and attention watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way for us here at Milkman Media. Next, I'll be jumping back into Dead Rising, and we'll be playing the second game in that series, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, as well as for all your other food and gaming needs. Lastly, I would love to hear in the comments about what you think of Death of the Outsider, the Dishonored series as a whole, as well as if you played this on on 2 different systems, did you have the same saving issues as I did, or anything else on your mind in the comments. Thanks again for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.
Let's go. I know I'm moving through life like it's a runway. I'ma live life in style and paint this life like a masterpiece. There's no bringing us down. And we don't know what tomorrow holds, so we gon' live right now. All we know when we pull up, got 'em saying